Most guys that I talk to overcomplicate fat loss so much. And what I've found over the years is that there's really just a few simple rules that make fat loss 10 times easier. And I want to share those rules with you today. The first rule that I swear by is sticking to a movement-based lifestyle. Now, I'm not one of those crazy fitness influencers that are gonna, did I say influencers? Influencers that are gonna tell you to walk, 15, 20,000 steps a day. I find that to be outrageously unsustainable, especially if you're a dad like me. I have two boys who are ages 9 and 10. I coach all their sports. I run a business with a team. I coach hundreds of clients around the world with my coaching team. We have a lot on our plate. I don't have time to be walking all day, every day, around the clock. However, I did change my overall lifestyle from being sedentary in front of my computer to doing things that I can walk while doing them. For example, I could stand up right now if I was outside. It's a little bit bad weather outside today, but I could literally just walk around my neighborhood holding my little tripod here. You can see me in the mirror. And I can get some steps in while I film a YouTube video. Now, I'm not gonna do that right now, but I'm gonna have conference calls later with a few team members, and I'm gonna walk while I talk to them. Now, the other thing is, before every workout, I always walk for 5 to 10 minutes as a warm-up. Following my workout, which I'm getting ready to wrap up right now, I'm gonna go walk for 5 minutes. I also try to walk for 10 minutes after lunch, just about every single day. At night, if it's nice out, obviously I'm coaching my kids' teams. Like right now, we're in baseball and football season as we transition into the fall. We're doing summer baseball, we're doing summer football conditioning. So I'm walking, coaching my kids basically for an hour almost every night. So yes, I know I do things that maybe not everybody does, but this is how I hit, on average, anywhere from 7,000 to 12,000 steps a day. 12,000 is like super high. Average is right around 10, but it doesn't take as much work as you might think. Now, on days where I can't get that many steps in, or let's just say a day where I'm not training with weights, one of the key things that makes fat loss 10 times easier is to add some calculated intensity to your walking. So for me, that's throwing on a weight vest and going for a 30-minute walk in the morning. Because walking with a heavier weight vest is going to burn more calories than just walking normally. This is how I strategically get more bang for my buck, squeeze more juice out of the things that I'm already doing, and not have to fall into the trap of trying to live like a 20-year-old with no responsibilities. Now, I put together a ripped body roadmap. Okay, this is going to be a step-by-step guide. If you're over 40, if you're a guy with kids who has done well for himself financially, but has put everything in front of his health and is now looking in the mirror feeling really frustrated with what he sees. You don't have the body that represents who you truly are as a man. I have a system that's going to change all that rapidly, and I'll give it to you for free. It's called the Ripped Body Roadmap. It's pretty detailed, so don't get overwhelmed by it. All you have to do is comment RIPPED in the comments below, and I will send it over to you 100% free, because my goal and intention here is to build a relationship with you that eventually might lead to us working together one day on your body, on your health goals. So those are the first couple things that I wanted to mention that make fat loss a whole heck of a lot easier. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is what I call the 3M system. The 3M system is very simple: movement, muscle, meals. We talk a lot about it in the Ripped Body Blueprint or the Ripped Body Roadmap. I can't get even the names right because there's just so many things I've created. But the Ripped Body Roadmap is a step-by-step plan to get you from feeling overweight, out of shape, depressed, lacking confidence, to no longer being the fat husband, being the husband that your wife brags about to all her friends because you just look so good, okay? 3M system is what I call the simplified operating system to take care of your health. Movement, we talked about having a movement-based lifestyle. Muscle is pillar number 2. This is where we hit, yes, the weights, okay? The weights strategically, anywhere from 2 to 4 times per week, depending on your schedule, depending on your lifestyle. But we're getting stronger. We're tracking our lifts because we're not lifting for an hour. We're lifting 30 minutes, 45 minutes in and out, being very calculated, being very focused, and being very consistent. And we're not doing exercises that are going to put us at risk for injury. We're doing things like a hack squat with a machine. We're doing things like a trap bar deadlift instead of regular deadlifts. We may not even do a trap bar deadlift. We may focus on movements that give you more stabilization because, let's face it, not everybody can do the same exercise routine and get the same results. We have to look at things from your training history to your structure to injuries or pre-existing conditions. We need to look at what's strong on your body and what's not strong, and we need to focus on the weak areas. For a lot of guys, some of the weak areas that I see: lower back, knees, hips, shoulders, and a lot of it comes from not having strength in some key muscles, one being your glutes. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent here, but glute training is not overrated. It's one of the most underrated things you can throw into your current exercise routine to help you look better, right? Because a guy who has powerful glutes is going to naturally look better. And then number two, to avoid injuries long term. That's the muscle pillar. That's going to help you look good naked as you shred the fat. Now the third pillar, which is meals, and I'm gonna lead into a few things that make fat loss 10 times easier with meals. Meals is the game-changing pillar when it comes to fat loss because let's face it, we can train for an hour a day if you had the time. You're not gonna burn as many calories as you might think. For most guys, it's a few hundred calories. A quick stop at your local gas station grabbing a Snickers will wipe that out because the calorie content from the snacks, from the junk is so high that it eliminates any caloric deficit that we might have established. So we have to master our meals. We have to master our nutrition. By the way, if you want my Ripped Body Roadmap that tells you exactly how I eat, how to set up your diet, pretty much all the things you need to get started on your own, just comment Ripped below this video and I'll send it to you. So when we look at our meals, okay, a couple easy things to start thinking about. Number one, we don't need a lot of variety. However, we need to follow the 3 E's. What are the 3 E's? Well, it has to be easy. So I know the recipes that you see on Instagram look cool, probably some things you see on YouTube, but when you really break it down, some of this stuff takes like an hour to make. We don't have that kind of time. So it's gotta be easy. For me, I rely on some key tools. One being the air fryer, one being the oven, two being the oven, a pan fry, like just a normal pan, and then the grill. So we have a grill outside that we use to grill a few nights a week during the summer, and sometimes a few nights a week during the winter. Those tools make meal preparation easy. And the other thing that's super important is it has to be enjoyable. If we go through life eating meals that we hate, choking down chicken, eliminating all carbohydrates because somebody told us that carnivore is the way to go, and we don't enjoy it, man, it's only so much time before we're basically playing with borrowed time. It's only a matter of time before you stop because our brains are wired to enjoy at some level food. And I'm not saying you have to be a foodie. I talk to a lot of guys who are like, I don't really like food that much. But let's face it, when we really focus on what we're eating, you'll notice that you lean towards things that you enjoy more. So why not use that to our advantage? Let's look at meals as an opportunity for easy preparation, enjoyable food that we actually like eating. And then 3, it's actually gotta be effective. See, so many of us look at food and go, okay, that diet's easy. It's relatively enjoyable. It's kind of enjoyable, but I'm not getting results. So that's not the right diet for you. So it has to get you the result. That's the name of the game. Just like running a business or running a team at your company or anything related to financial gain, if we're not seeing the numbers go up, well, I don't care how great your systems, how great your product is, I don't care how great your team is, the results aren't happening. So we have to look at the results. Those are the 3 E's: easy, enjoyable, effective. Okay, get those things right. Now, a powerful thing to understand with fat loss, this took me a long time to really grasp, is the power of a process. We get so focused, like laser targeted on the outcome. I wanna look ripped. I wanna have abs. I wanna be jacked. I talk to guys over 40 who are, in some parts of their life able to pull a couple of levers, press a couple of buttons, and get amazing results. Some of these guys that I work with one-on-one in our coaching program, which by the way, you can learn all about. I put some links below. There's some places to get started and then some places to take things to the next level if you're interested. I talk to these guys who have very successful lives. They're very family focused. Yes, they don't like the way they look at the pool. Their wife is in better shape than them in most cases. Their kids play sports a lot of times, or heck, they just have an active, travel schedule and they want to look good wherever they are. These guys, in a lot of parts of their life, are very powerful. Okay, they're respected in a lot of circles. However, they're missing a huge advantage, which they could be taking advantage of, right? And then that advantage is being healthy and fit. So when we look at fitness, it's natural for a lot of guys to go, okay, if I just white knuckle it for 8 weeks and I cut all my carbs and I do 2 workouts a day and I follow this workout app that's got all these crazy workouts and I just do this as hard as I can for just a short period of time, I'm gonna eventually cross some imaginary finish line and I'm gonna look good. The problem is, there's a couple problems. Number one is that is outcome driven. So the only thing we're focused on is the scale, how we look in the mirror, and the measurements of our body parts and like things that take time to change. And we are so used to fast results that we get frustrated when things don't happen fast, or they happen fast for a very short period of time and then all of a sudden things slow down. And we're faced with this reality that fitness is a lifelong pursuit, and we have to just buy into a new way of living and a process-based approach. When we focus on the process and we have a process-based approach, then we are able to stack wins literally every day. Let me give you an easy example. An easy win for guys starting out is hitting a step goal. I know it sounds boring as heck, but it works. And I don't mean crazy high steps like I mentioned earlier. I'm talking about, let's just increase your steps by 10%. Okay, great. We knock that out. Okay, then let's hit our total calorie window. Maybe it's 2,200 calories to 2,400 calories. Great, we hit that. That's a huge win. Maybe it's let's not drink alcohol during the week. Great, that's a huge process-based win. So we can check the box and say, you know what, I'm winning. I'm hitting a process, and the outcome's gonna happen. Because the longer I do this process, the more the outcome is just gonna speed up and get here sooner. Now, here's another trap though with this outcome of focus, if we're not careful, as we get to the outcome. I talk to guys all the time who lose the weight they set out to lose. And maybe they don't look the way they wanna look because they underestimated how much weight they needed to lose, which is normal. They lose 20 pounds, they don't have abs yet, and they're like, dude, I thought I was gonna be on top of the world here. I thought I was gonna, look down at my stomach and it's gonna be ripped. And the reality is maybe they have another 15 to lose before they have abs. And that's just part of the game. But the problem was you got so focused on the outcome and you reached this outcome that you were focused on, but it was the wrong outcome. It was the wrong outcome. 20 pounds is not what you wanted in this example. What you wanted was abs. In order to get abs, you have to have a process. You have to have a system. You have to forget about restarting the computer or resetting it or whatever the stupid analogy is. Let's actually rebuild it. Let's put a new operating system. Let's upgrade, dude, right? You know that feeling when you go to Best Buy or whatever store and you get a new MacBook? I mean, at least I felt this way. It's pretty cool, right? Because it's clean, it's fast, it's operating smooth. And then, I add too many files and it slows down. But the reality of the situation is we need a new operating system. We need a process-based approach. And that's really one of the pieces that we help guys with inside of our coaching program, which you can check out below. You can actually schedule a no sales call action plan chat. I know it's a little different, but we do things differently around here. What we do differently, if you're interested, if you've made it this far, first of all, thanks. Hope this video helped. But this stuff is what makes fat loss 10 times easier. What I'll also say though is getting accountability, getting a community, a network around you that's full of guys who are successful, family guys with strong values and take their faith, their family, their fitness very seriously. And that stuff wears off on you and it's contagious. And so what I'll tell you is our approach is a lot different when we work with guys. We don't do sales calls, okay? That's number one. We do consultations, but our commitment to you is that the first call is no sale, okay? We're not gonna even offer anything. We wanna get to know you. What are the problems you're running into? What are the goals that you have? Why are they important to you? What's holding you back? How can we help you get there faster? And then we actually build a no obligation action plan. So we actually send you an action plan broken down step by step. Here are the things we need to do. And it's custom to you. It's not like some generic plan that we send to everybody. Literally could prove it to you. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make a video on this. But you like the action plan? Great. Then we schedule an implementation call. And this is where we'll have a mutual discussion about what makes sense. Do you even need a coach? Do you want a coach? What does the relationship need to look like? And then and only then do we proceed with a working partnership to get you there faster. Because we don't like high pressure. We don't like a pitch. We don't like a weird thing where we just knew you for 5 minutes, then we pitched you on this high expensive coaching program. So I say all that to say this. If you're interested in getting the next level, if you want to look good, feel your best, and perform like an absolute legend in all parts of your life, at least take me up on the Ripped Body Roadmap. Comment Ripped, I'll send it to you for free. If you like what you see, let's schedule an action plan chat. Or if you want to just skip right to the action plan, go to the links below. You'll see them in the description of the video. And you can schedule an action plan. We do not do sales calls, so if you're looking for something that you can buy right away, unfortunately that won't be this call, but we will give you a free, no obligation action plan to get you started, so you'll be in better shape within a week of talking to us, all right? That's all I got. Life moves fast, make it count. Your next step, follow the steps below, or watch this next video that I'll put on the screen here. Either way, thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.